Hi everybody, this is Kim. I want to show you a project that I just finished making using the Midnight Garden paper collection from Prima. This is a real easy, fast, I'm going to call it a journaling, what do I want to call it? Journaling note card trifold, I guess, because I have some of these 4x6 journaling card packs and sometimes I don't feel like I utilize them the way I should, and so I wanted to make something that I could use more of these cards and not waste them. So that's where I got the inspiration to make this. This is kind of like a little, I don't know, gift, or maybe you'd mail it to a friend, and there's some very limited room for pictures, but let me walk you through it real quick. This does measure 4x6 when it's closed. And so on mine, I do have a seam binding closure. This is a Prima, no, not a Prima, Graphic 45 flower. Their new flowers are beautiful. These are some of the flowers I had in my stash. This chipboard piece came from the collection. I had a wood piece that says sweet at the bottom, and I added a metal butterfly down at the bottom. Okay, so that's how I embellished it. Now, because it's kind of thick, you would probably have to send it in a box if you're doing it in the mail, like a 1-inch deep box or something. And then the back is just plain. So when you untie it, it just opens up. So on this side, I just put to a special friend, and I can either write a sentiment here, or I could add a small picture. And then the two sides mimic one another. There are smaller pockets here where I just put some smaller tags, and I'm thinking that I could make the pictures fit if I trimmed them just a hair, maybe from my little LG printer that I have for my phone. What do these measure? Let's see. They're about 2 1/4 by, they're about 2 1/4 by 3. So yeah, they should work. And then I just stapled on some seam binding. This paper was solid, and I just added, cut out some of the flowers from one of the papers and glued it on there. This sticker didn't come with the collection. I had that, and I just mounted it on some of that paper to that spectrum to kind of pop it up a little bit. So that is a pocket, and then this is also a diagonal pocket, or L pocket is what I usually call them. And then I just put a plain piece of black cardstock where you could add pictures to the front and back. And then this is open, so you can put things in easily. The other side mimics that on the right hand side. So you have the pocket, put a little flower peeking out of there from the paper collection, and then another piece of paper for matting picture. Okay, and then, oops, sorry. Why can't I get, there we go. In the middle, you'll notice the pocket goes a little bit higher just to add some interest when you look at it. I have some of the real pretty twine from the store, and I like this because when I cut it, I have some other, and it comes unraveled because it's white and gold, and this doesn't seem to come unraveled when you cut it, so that's kind of nice. This is a Graphic 45 die for the tags. It was actually the long one, and then I cut it to be shorter. I have a die for this bow, and so I cut that out, and that just slides in here so that you can add some pictures or a sentiment, comment, whatever. And then it just folds up real nice. There is a 1/4 inch gusset on each side. So this is a super fast and easy project. So let me show you real quick on what you're going to need to make this. So the first piece, which is going to end up being the center piece, is 5 by 10 1/2, and you'll just need one of those. And then you're going to need 2 of them that measure 9 1/2 by 9 1/4. And that's all you need, besides your whatever collection you choose to decorate with and any embellishments. Okay, so let's do our scoring. So let's start with the 5 by 10 1/2 sheet, and when you place it on your scoreboard with the 5 inches going across the top, I need for you to score at 1/2 inch and at 4 1/2 inches, so that you have 1/2 inch sides on each. Some people like to turn it and then do another 1/2 inch on the other side, whatever works for you. And then when you turn it to the 10 1/2 inch side, go ahead and score at 6 inches. Okay, so that's the first one. Now on this one, you're going to need a left side and a right side. And so on the first one, let's see, how did I do this? I started this way, and you're going to score at 4 inches, at 8 inches, and then 8 1/4. Then you're going to turn it and score at 6 inches. So you'll have one where the 1/4 and 1 inch side are on the left, and then one where you have it on the right. Okay, so let me go through those score marks real quick one more time. Let's go here. You're going to score at 4 inches, 8 inches, 8 1/4. Turn it and 6 inches. Okay, so now we're going to do some cutting. So let me get my scoreboard out of the way. Okay, so starting with your 5 by 10.5, you want to cut out on the 6 inch top, you're going to want to cut out these 2 1/2 inch pieces on the right and the left up to the score line. So I'm just going to clip that off. And you can use your trimmer if you want to. I'm just going to use my scissors. I'm trying to get rid of that bump that you get when you score. So I'm just doing it on the side of that. Okay, so there's one, and we're going to do the other one, the other side. This is the artisan cardstock I'm using in the black. It looks really good with the Midnight Garden collection because the colors are real deep. Okay, so it looks like so. This is actually the top. The 6 inch piece is the top. Okay. Now at this point I am going to use a decorative punch and punch down at the bottom. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to just use this one real quick. Make sure that's lined up. You don't have to use a decorative punch if you don't want to. So now I'm going to burnish on my score marks. And I'm going to cut the top where we did the decorative punch. I'm going to cut that at an angle so that you don't see that when you fold it. So I'm just angling to the score line so that when we fold those, we don't see the decorative punch. Okay. So you're going to place glue on your 1/2 inch flaps. And I'm going to use the art glitter glue. Okay, and just fold that up, and it should line up perfectly. And go ahead and burnish it to make sure it's adhered real well. Get rid of any excess glue that squeezes out. Okay, and that's all you do for the centerpiece. Okay, and then we'll attach the 2 sides. Okay, so let's get our other pieces that we cut. I'm going to move this off to the side. Okay, now on this one, we have 2 pieces, and we have to remember that one is going to be the left panel and one's going to be the right. So we're going to cut it. We need to make sure that we have one for each side. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and score or burnish on my score lines. So this will be the piece that I attach on the right hand side, because this will attach to that. Okay, so we need to cut out some pieces. We're going to cut out this whole section up until we get to the first 4-inch panel on the side here. Let me double check. Let me see. Yep. So I'm going to cut so that I get rid of that bump. Up into that score line, and that is crooked, so I got to fix that. Man, I'm not cutting very straight today. Okay, so now we're going to cut off this section right here. No, hold on. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. Nope, I lied. We're going to cut off... Dang it. Okay, sorry about that. My notes were messed up, and my notes showed the left-hand side, and I was doing the right-hand side, so I apologize. So I'm going to show you what it looks like once it's cut, and then I'll show you the right way when I do the other panel. Sorry about that. Okay, so I cut out the 1 inch and the 1/4 inch piece that was down on the bottom left. Okay. And then I left this square panel, and then on the very far right I took off that bottom square, so it looks like so. Okay, and I'll show you with the other one. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to punch a decorative border on this bottom pocket that we're going to fold up. Okay, so this piece will actually go in first, and I do want to fold this over to make it an angled pocket. So I just eyeballed it. I did not measure. I just want to make sure that it's straight, and then I creased it. Okay, so that when we fold this over, this comes up and we have so, like so. Okay, now I am going to trim this a little bit so that I don't see it when I close that. I don't want just a hair more. There we go. Okay, so trim as needed. Sometimes you have to trim at the bottom here too, so that your pocket will close nice and neat. It just kind of depends. All right, let's do this the right way now on the other side. All right, let's burnish our score marks. Thanks for bearing with me here. Okay, so I have the 1 inch and the 1/4 inch over on my right hand side because that's going to attach to the middle piece. Okay, all right, so let's take the bottom left hand corner and cut that out. This will be the piece that folds over and forms that L-shaped pocket, or that angled pocket. Okay, there's that. This will be the one that we fold, and I just want to make sure I am going to trim the bottom just a little bit more so that my pocket folds up nice and doesn't buckle. Yep, much better. Okay. All right, so now we're going to take out this rectangle that's 1 inch and the 1/4 inch rectangle. Okay, so we just have this middle square. Okay, so you'll fold the left over and bring that up. And I feel like it's still buckled a hair, so I'm just going to trim that one more real small amount. Okay, so I am now going to decorative punch the pocket. Oopsie. Get rid of my scraps here. Okay, now I want to make sure that I fold this at the same angle that I folded this one. So I'm going to just kind of line these up so I can see where I need to fold. Okay, it looks like about there. And I just want to make sure it's straight. When I say straight, that there's the same amount of room going up and down here. Okay. So now we'll attach all of our pieces together and our pockets going up. Okay, so this is going to fold over first. Then we're going to bring this up and glue it. So I'm just going to glue here and here. Let me show you that again. When this is folded, I'm going to glue on the angled pocket on the left and the pocket piece on the bottom on the right. That way you'll get the glue in the right spots. So here and here. Bring it up and burnish and press down real good. So this is still open all the way. The L pocket is. This one is sealed on both sides. Okay, let's do that on the other side. Fold over. You're going to place glue on the L pocket on the right, and now the bottom pocket that folds up on the left. Burnish. Now I'm going to put a note on this video. You may want to mat this piece first before you bring up your pocket. I did mine afterwards. And it worked fine for me, but you might want to do it first. Okay, and like I said, I'll add a note. So now you will attach the 1 inch piece to the back of your center. So place glue on this 1 inch flap. Line it up, make sure you're lining it up without going over the score mark, and that the top and the bottom line up. Okay. If you need to trim any, I have just a hair right here. Okay, and now we'll attach the other side. Putting glue on that 1-inch strip. Line it up without going over the score. And press down. Trim anything that hangs over. Okay. And then these cards will fit perfectly. Let me show you. Before we do the matting though, I am going to have you add seam binding. So you don't really need to trim if you don't want to. It goes right from edge to edge. Okay. So you're going to want to add seam binding if you want a seam binding closure. So let me find a color that I'm going to use. I think I'll use the burgundy color again. So I'm going to cut mine. I'd rather it be too long than too short. So I'm going to cut 2 10-inch pieces. All right, so 2 10-inch pieces of seam binding. So when you close your book, you're going to want one on the front cover. Just eyeball it in the center, and I just adhere that with some glue. And now you want, keeping your book folded, turn it upside down, and you're going to want another piece of seam binding on the back cover. Okay. And now you can add your decorative paper. All right, easy peasy. Sorry for the error I made earlier. Sometimes when you make a lot of these things, you forget some of your steps, so I apologize. Anyway, that is all it takes to make these. Its final dimensions are 4 by 6 when it's closed. And let me show you the final one more time, what it looks like once you decorate it. So you'll see that I added my paper afterwards and I still had it fit just fine. It depends how much glue you put, how far over your glue was on this pocket. It may be easier for you just to do it ahead of time. Okay, there you go. If you have any questions, let me know. Most of these products can be found at countrycraftcreations.com. If you put my name in the comment box until January 15th of 2019, you and I may be eligible for a $25 gift certificate to the store. So thanks for watching, and have a great new year.